Hi Brobies! So much like some Vlogbrother videos, this video comes to you in 6 parts. Part 1, the things I loved. Let's start out with some positives. First up, I actually did like EJ's line when she was just like, he doesn't like when people wear his hat. I loved it, was funny, and I wasn't hating her for a second, so improvement. And I also loved the entire scene of the Tony Ziva stakeout, like up to and including the McAbby ship name drop, the use of food, and the fact that Ziva was right. McGee and Abby were like so cute in this episode. Like when they're talking in the lab and Abby looks up, she's like, "You're jealous," and she's got like the cutest smile. It's so cute. I do like McGee and Abby action, but I kind of wish that we got some outside of raging jealousy. Like we have gotten those in the past and I'd like more of them. I mean, a lot of them McAbby seems to be like, "Do you like him slash her? Are you dating him slash her?" That makes me want you so much more. Though sometimes the heart does want what the heart can't have. Moving on, loved seeing street clothes Gibbs and Abby's lab. That's just, Mark Harmon's pretty. He just got his hoodie and his big coat on. I love it. Tony and Ziva wise, I also really liked their scene in the break room. It was just very like relaxed and normal, and they weren't stabbing each other with forks, and they seemed like they were friends. A lot of times we get Tony and Ziva scenes where they're just like bickering like old married couples. I just like more when they act like friends and not like they hate each other. Maybe it's just me. So second part is the case. At first it's like, it's so easy, it's too easy. We can't build an episode around an easy case, can we? It's a very good use of masks. It's a very good use of masks. How do you say the plural of mask? Is it maskus? Mask. I have a speech impediment. The things of the, 1 minute. It was a very good use of masks. I've seen all the Mission Impossibles and I kind of considered they might do a mask thing, but I didn't really think it was like possible. But I guess anything's possible on NCIS, so. It was cool, no complaints. Although I did also consider the possibility that he was a zombie, so maybe that's impossible. You know, the case was very good. I liked the whole cologne thing. I have one little nitpick about the like climax ending because the bad guy goes right and then Tony and Ziva go left, and yet Tony and Ziva are the first ones to run into him. That didn't make sense to me. Maybe I'm just crazy. Ziva's little struggle with the mask guy was okay. I thought that, I mean, really, I think he should have been able to snap her neck. Like, I mean, was her neck so strong she was just able to fight him off? Because all she does is like grab his mask and he's still trying to snap her neck. I mean, he came up behind that like other girl, which is like, I don't know. I think that he probably would have been able to kill her because new Ziva still kicking ass, but much easier to sneak up on, apparently. Next up, the Tony and the Gibbs. The scene in the basement was so good. I love the whole "I depend on you" thing. I do like how Gibbs had Tony come to him instead of, you know, beating him into the ground with a head slap and a harsh scolding. You know, this whole like rough patch makes me wonder if Tony's like growing maybe as a character, because like, let's just say for argument's sake he was a child before. Now he's in like his rebellious kind of young adult teenage phase where he wants to date the girl. And Dad's like, "You can't date the girl," but he's like, "I think I'm gonna date the girl. Sorry, I'm growing up." I think that this is either going to be another kind of Rule 51 with sometimes you're wrong, or we're going to see Tony kind of learn a lesson that, you know, Gibbs is God and all of Gibbs' rules are correct and you don't question Gibbs and the rules, especially rule number 12. And, you know, Tony's going to end up, you know, being wrong about EJ and that it is a bad idea to be with her. Like, really think about it. Tony's really ready for his own team. I mean, he's been with NCIS like 10 years. I don't know too much about the inner workings of NCIS, but he should be ready for his own team. I mean, as far as the show goes, when Gibbs was on vacation, he did take care of the team. He did okay. If we exclude Bounce, because Bounce doesn't exist in my mind. It's so stupid. And then Jenny offered him his own team, which was the Rhoda thing, and that was 4 years ago, so he's got 4 more years of experience. I mean, Tony's still on the team because that's his home, but, you know, if it wasn't for his loyalty to Gibbs and, you know, his probably love of working with McGee and Ziva, I think it'd be time for him to move on to his own team. I mean, EJ's like younger than him and she's team leader. However, if Tony ever, you know, goes and asks Vance for a chance to prove himself or, you know, to get a promotion, to get his own team, he can only fail unless Michael Weatherly wants off the show because he can no longer like work on Team Gibbs. He has to stay on Team Gibbs or else they'll have to like reformat the whole show. Do you guys think it's possible that this might inspire him to maybe try to get a promotion and then fail? And then Tony will have to learn his place. It'll be just like Bounce all over again when Tony's in charge, but it really just proves that he sucks at his job apparently. Oh, Bounce was such a nightmare. And though, like, highly suggest watching Bounce with commentary because it's awesome. I guess I kind of have this theory now after this episode that Tony will either have to be taught a lesson that it was a bad idea to date EJ or it's a bad idea to try to to be team leader or try to get a promotion or to try to prove yourself that you're more than just Gibbs' like second banana, and then he'll fail because the writers have some sort of fetish with Idiot Tony. I think that's my like theory now. It's probably not gonna happen. Yeah. Because basically on the show, Gibbs is God and you don't question God. Just saying. So I'm gonna put on my Tiva goggles, going back to the really good basement scene. How many times has the Rule 12 talk showed up in fanfic? You know, did it live up to, you know, what we thought it would be like? Because, you know, it's the Rule 12 talk. Like, I knew it was coming when Tony came down the stairs and I was like, you know what I want Gibbs to say? I want Gibbs to turn to Tony and just be like, I knew we'd have this conversation eventually, but I always thought it'd be about someone else. Oh, someone write that fanfic where Gibbs is all shipping the Tiva. Oh, I'm putting it out into the universe. Somebody write that fanfic. Okay, next part, part 4. What part are we on? So let's talk about the new team. What do you guys think of them? I love how they got a big screen and nobody made a size doesn't matter joke. Oh, it hurt the cheesy comedian inside of me that Michael Weatherly didn't make that joke. I do think having this other team on the other side of the partition is like pure genius. Just like having all of our lovely characters and all the audience kind of like, what are they doing over there? What are they doing? Because we're all like, who's the port-to-port killer? Who is the eyeball? We want to know. We don't like them, but we want to know what they know. So Cade and Levin, I'm not hating them, not loving them, not hating them, not loving them. They're kind of just like in this gray area for me right now. Okay, as for EJ, she wasn't that annoying. I found her tolerable for this episode. Don't know why, just tolerable. Now I know we had that interview with Sarah Jane Morris like a few days ago. She talked about EJ and how she didn't really feel that EJ was insecure about Ziva. And I'm not really saying she's insecure, but she did ask Tony like twice about whether or not he was spending stakeout time with Ziva. So I don't know, maybe I just had like my Tiva filter on. Okay, second last part. The eye, as Dramia Sheep called it, the eye cube. The victim we know is male in his 30s, had LASIK surgery, and has access to MTAC. And, as EJ pointed out, they're blue. Take note. So my first thought was Chad Dunham. I think I had like at least 2 comments in other videos that suggested Chad might be a candidate. Because I think he did have blue eyes. It might be crazy, and he's kind of the right age, and was recently on the show, sort of, like a season and a half ago. I did some wikiing and other possibilities. Daniel Keating, who was the replacement McGee in Last Man Standing. And also Michael Renko. I don't even know, maybe he's dead. And he was on the NCIS episodes that were called Legend in season 6, and he has also been on NCIS LA and he has blue eyes. So those are my guesses so far. Now that we still don't know who they belong to, I'm starting to think it might be Jesse Stern. I don't think I have to tell you guys that when that eyeball opened MTAC, like I freaked out. I think we all had like an oh my god moment. It's so brilliant. Such a great clue. It was just a great ending, just a great oh my god WTF moment. First up, does that mean that the enucleator, aka Mr. P2P, have access to NCIS now? I think I might be crazy, but I think in Angels and Demons by Dan Brown, they used the eyeball to get in to the retina scan to steal like the subatomic nuclear cylinder thing. That just made me think of maybe he has the other one and he's gonna use it to break in. Again, maybe he's already used it to break in. I mean, there's more than the retina scans as far as security goes, but that might kind of make a break-in NCIS plan go a little smoother, just saying. And also, if you die, are you removed from the system? I would think so. Also, if Abby's running the DNA from the eyeball and they were employed by NCIS, maybe I'm crazy, but wouldn't they have their DNA on file? NCIS agents' DNA is in the system and we have their DNA. We should know by the next episode who it is, right? Okay, as far as writing goes, I'm gonna give this one a 4. Not quite a 5 again, not like a really like impressionable episode, but definitely an above average episode. The first time I watched it, I wasn't that into it, but the second time I got like much more into it, so I'm gonna give it a 4. You know, this episode had a lot of stuff to cover, a lot of stuff going on, a lot of information, but it still managed to have really good flow. Managed to get a lot of stuff crammed into just 44 minutes. So the next episode is not going to air till May 3rd, so that's going to be about 2.5 weeks from now. But at least we'll have 3 weeks to ponder and lose sleep over who the heck does that eye belong to.